Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 425 Show, your place to be for all things real estate and lifestyle related here on the East Side. I'm your host, Nicole Mangina with Windermere Real Estate, and today we have Kristen Zuray with Trail Youth joining us this morning. Good morning, Kristen. How are
Good
you?
morning. Doing great.
Good.
Yes.
Yes, it's the day after Labor Day. We all had a long weekend. If you are watching the Facebook Live version, you saw our kids are back in school dance this morning.
All right.
It's good. We all got here bright and early. I was prepared for lots of traffic this morning, but I think everybody's still at the bus stop taking pictures.
I think they're still saying goodbye.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it's a big day in your house, too, just like ours. You have one going into middle school and one going into high school.
Yes.
Those are big days.
Those are.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. I try not to think about it.
I know. I'm excited and teary all at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know who's more excited for Ryan, our youngest, to get home today, like him or me. Him because he's out of school, and me because I want to hear all about it. And we'll see if he actually tells me.
Yeah. Don't count on it.
I
asked my son on his first day, how'd it go? Good. Anything more?
Mm-hmm.
Nope. I'm like, this is your first day of school. Come on, give a little more.
Yeah. No, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm expecting, but I'm holding out hope.
Yeah.
And speaking of kids, you run Trail Youth, which is a phenomenal organization out in the Snoqualmie Valley, correct?
Yes.
All right. Tell us about it, because I would love to know more about it. I certainly read about it online, and we've chatted quite a bit, but tell our listeners a little bit more about Trail Youth.
Well, we started about 5 years ago in Issaquah, actually, and we just saw some young adults hanging out on the trail, and they were homeless and just involved in drugs. And so we felt really, our hearts connected with them. We saw signs called Society's Trash carved on a tree and the words worthless on a bench. And so that really pulled at our hearts. We thought they are too young to still view themselves this way, and we got to give them hope. So we started bringing donuts down, and we sat down underneath the tree and just talked to them and got to know their stories, and we built a relationship. But then the weather turned and became very cold, so we decided, hey, we want to bring coffee to them, but we want to make it very special because we want them to know that somebody cares and that they're valued.
Yes.
So we opened up the trunk of our car and we put a tablecloth out, and we had raspberries and all this, different flavors, syrups and everything, and they could make their own specialty coffees.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah. So
I love that.
That's how it started, and we just built relationships, and the whole point of it was that the coffee was just a conduit, so that way we could build trust with them and then be able to speak into their lives later on and hopefully point them in the right direction and get them the help that they need.
Got it.
So eventually that kind of died down in Issaquah because a lot of them moved on because they were young adults, they moved on into Seattle or Renton and other areas.
Got it.
So now we work out in Snoqualmie.
Okay.
And the dynamic is completely different. We deal with teenagers from 13 to 19, and it's all youth.
Okay.
It's all youth. And we just recently opened up a coffee home.
I know. There's a great story there. I can't wait for you to share that. That's great.
Yeah. And so we took our coffee off the trail for just temporarily for right now. We're in search of other trails right now. And they can come and they can have a safe, warm spot to hang out after school. And we've got several programs. We've got mentorship program. We have barista training programs. We have leadership programs.
Oh my goodness.
And then
That's great.
so there's a lot that the kids can do and get involved in.
Okay.
So.
And so how do they find you, or how do you find them? Are you still actively on the trail, or is it just kind of a word of mouth? Do these kids get referred to you? How do you connect with the kids?
For about 2 years, we were on the trail serving coffee and donuts again, and we would do parties on the trail, to celebrate when somebody graduated, or Christmas parties on the trail. And so through that, we were able to build up a lot of relationships. And we approached the kids, and we took two of the kids out to coffee and said, what do you think about a coffee house, a shop? Do you think this would be a good idea for kids to come and hang out? And, And they got very excited about it, and
That's awesome.
they just started telling us how much they needed it. So we thought, okay, we got our green light from them, so let's go for it. And
That's
so
great.
we went for it. And so now it's through word of mouth, and because we do have the relationship with the kids already built, and so now they're just spreading the word that the coffee home is open and available.
Got it.
For them.
And so are all of your children homeless for the most part, or just kind of at risk, or just really in need of something?
It's just all youth.
Okay.
So
got it.
Whatever their circumstances are, whatever brings them in, they don't have to be at risk. They don't have to be homeless. It's just all youth.
Got it.
And we have several different layers to the coffee house. So if they just want to come and hang out with friends and make it a hangout spot, they come and do that. We don't ask any questions until they want to talk to us. So, so to be able to say there's only one demographic, we can't say that because we're still building the relationships.
And I think that's great.
Yeah.
That is such a pivotal point in so many people. Well, I think really in everybody's life. Everybody that I've ever talked to, kind of that 13 to 19, has at least one moment in their life where somebody said or did something that really affected them for the rest of their lives, right? Could be a parent, could be an athletic coach, or something. So for you to provide that venue for these kids to have a place to go and start the conversation so that they can have somebody that believes in them and sees them as a whole person and somebody worthwhile, I think is beautiful.
So we're there when they need us, you know, and no criterias. The coffee is free for them.
Okay.
So from 7 to 2 o'clock in the morning, it's open for business.
Okay.
To the public.
Got it.
And so whatever we make during that time goes into the afternoon hours for the youth hours.
All right.
So that way the coffee to the kids is free.
I got it.
So that's.
And what's the name of the coffee shop?
Trail Youth Coffee Home.
Okay, and it's right downtown Snoqualmie, right?
No, it's in North Bend, right next to Scott's Dairy Freeze.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Okay, and so everybody knows where Scott's Dairy Freeze is.
And I gotta say, Scott's has been absolutely amazing.
Okay.
They made this fantastic burger called the Trail Burger.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so they have donated half of the proceeds to us.
That is awesome. Yeah. And that's our spot. That's where we get dinner on Friday nights when we go up to the mountain during ski season.
Okay.
So we'll be sure to get the Trail Burger.
Stop by Scott's and get the Trail Burger. Okay. Yes.
Perfect.
You'll be supporting two things.
Awesome. And I love a good cup of coffee too.
Oh,
so
yes.
The Trail Youth Coffee in North Bend. We'll be sure to stop by and we'll have links
for
all of this on the website after the show. So if you want to know more about Trail Youth, you feel like you need a cup of coffee and you're out in North Bend, all of that we'll have at NicoleMangina.com/podcast after the show. So tell me, we were talking before the show about how the whole coffee house actually came about. You had one plan.
Yeah.
But it actually came about a little differently than the way you thought it would. And it's such a beautiful story. I would love for you to share it with our listeners today.
Well, up to this point, we've been very methodical in what we were doing and step by step. And we had received a grant in October, so we knew that we could move forward on the coffee house. And then I believe it was February, we signed the lease. We got the keys. And then a few weeks later, we brought our my contractor, Brian Hunsinger, down and to look at the coffee house. And we were going to start, the renovations and planning it out and super excited. And then he launches into this horrible story of black mold. And he even shows us.
Which is not true. But this is the story he's telling you so that you will not go.
Exactly.
Because there's a little, you're going to find out here, but there's more going on
there's a
that
lot
you
more.
don't know about.
Yeah.
Okay. So he makes up a story that is not true about black mold.
So, yeah, he's basically lying to us, and he's showing us this solution, and he puts something inside the solution, and it turns blue.
Oh.
What it was a tampon and blue food dye. So...
That is awesome.
And, yeah. So he's going on this big story, and my two friends who are also on staff, they're hiding
and
behind.
they're in on it.
They're in on it completely, and So they had to go. We all put masks on because he said the mold is so bad you need to get the mask on.
Okay. You're like expecting the CDC to show up at this point.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my goodness, should we even be standing here, And so my friends are there hiding behind their gas masks, laughing and stuff. I'm like, I don't know how I didn't pick up on this. But anyways, Brian told me, make sure I do not go down for the next 2 weeks. There will be people from the health department there. And if you come, you will get fined thousands of dollars.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm scared and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I can't let my teammates down. I can't let the kids down. I have all this pressure. I won't even go to that end of town for 2 weeks. I just avoided it completely. Well, in the meantime, we had also received a strange phone call from New York. Just somebody starting up like a documentary, and they found us and was wondering if they could come out and tape us, and then we would have a great, way to advertise what we're doing, and they would create a video. And I'm just like, is this one of these print-on-demand things?
Like, you're sure it's a hoax.
Right.
I'm going to pay you. You're going to take all my money.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're like, no, it's not that. I'm like, okay. So I just played along with it, and every time we talked, I was expecting them to say, just kidding. We don't want you, But then all of a sudden they came out, and so for 2 days we had we were doing filming, and the second day I met the boss, and I didn't know who he was, but he was Mike Rowe.
Okay. And Mike Rowe
he was from Dirty Jobs.
Okay.
And now he has a new Facebook show called Returning the Favor.
Okay. Got it. And so this is kind of a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Okay.
And I was clueless the whole time. And so I was so focused on trying to get the kids out onto the trail because they wanted to interview them. They wanted to see what we were doing. It was raining. It was so cold.
Oh,
it was really miserable. And so the end of the day, we met up with Mike Rowe and his crew again. And Tanya and Wendy, my coworkers, disappeared.
Okay.
And then, so I'm concerned, like, where are they? And then they also, the show wanted to then videotape the building. And I'm going, no.
Now all your sensors are going up.
Yeah, I'm like, are you kidding me? I gave them fair warning before they came out that we were not going to see the building.
Right.
And I was like, no, we can't. And please call Brian, make sure that this is okay. They made a fake phone call to Brian saying it was fine. By this time, sad to say, very embarrassed about it, but I did get lost. We're only 2 blocks away from where we were at our coffee home. But I was just in a panic of the coffee, of where's Tanya and Wendy, for one thing. This is the last interview. Where are they? Yes. I'm ditching them. 2, I'm going to get fined. I'm going to get arrested, whatever's going to happen. And I'm trying to keep them away.
Oh, my goodness.
So we make it up to the front of the building, and it's, the building was okay. And then I noticed this horrible sign on the door saying caution and all this warning of mold. And I'm going, and now I'm really panicking because this was supposed to be quiet. And now somebody posted a sign.
Oh, shoot.
Yes. And so Mike Rowe and we start arguing. And I'm like, no, we can't go in. And he's like, no, we have to. No. Yeah. And then he finally goes, oh, forget it. He throws open the door and he pushes me inside the door. And I go flying into the door and I'm saying, no. Yeah. And then I look up and the community is the place is jam-packed with all these people that I know.
Oh, my goodness.
I go into like total shock mode because now I'm not exactly sure. I mean, the thought really went through my head that I just got hit by a car and I must be in a coma.
Because this can't be happening.
Right, because number one, we went from mold and the place really needed renovations, and now it's this beautiful coffee place.
Right.
I see 2 teenagers that have been trained on the coffee thing, and wait a minute, we haven't done any training yet.
Right.
I look over and I see the police standing in the corner, and I'm like, I knew it.
I'm going to jail.
Yes. Thanks, buddy.
I officially don't like you, Mike Rowe.
Exactly. Right, all these things were just going through my mind, and then I start noticing, wait a minute, I'm recognizing these people. What is going on?
Like,
And
I think this is a good thing. I
yeah,
don't know what's happening, but I think it might be good.
Yeah, and my neighbor, who's also Brian, is saying April Fools, because we always do this April Fools prank in our neighborhood.
That's awesome.
Then I hear Mike Rose saying this is returning the favor. And
that is so sweet.
Yeah.
So they took care of all of the build out for you then and helped get it all set up.
The majority, and then they contributed to it, and then the community came and they started donating things. So all of our equipment, people from Seattle, people from within our own community, we would put a call out, hey, we need a ice maker. And the next day, an ice maker would be there.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Oh, we need like an espresso machine. And we've got this amazing, beautiful espresso machine now. And
I love that.
Just lots of people from all over the place, heard our story, and they've stepped up and they were able to make all these amazing donations. And so now we look at Trail Youth Coffee Home as a community spot. And so when we saw the whole community coming together and supporting this, we thought this needs to be more now, and we need to open it up to the community in the mornings, because they took part in this.
Yes.
And they want to see this grow, and they want to continue to be a part of it. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and how great for you, obviously, who is getting this whole thing running, but for the kids to see that people are out there and they care. And if you just ask, it's amazing what people will, like, no strings attached. Here's a coffee maker, right? Or an espresso maker. And to realize that people actually do want to see them succeed and want to help them out.
Yeah.
So I just think that's beautiful on so many levels.
Yeah.
I love it. And so what hours are they open to the public?
7 to 2 o'clock.
Okay. That's great.
Yep. Tuesdays through Fridays.
Trail Youth Coffee in North Bend.
Yes.
Next to Scott's Dairy Freeze. I love it.
Yes.
That's so cool. And so you said now there's training for the kids. That's part of, like, it's almost like a job training.
It is.
Experience for the kids.
They can come and we train them to be baristas. And we're finding that it's really nice because it gives them a laid back environment. We've had milk flying.
Okay. I can imagine.
So it's been a lot of fun, but we're working on it. And we're producing some good coffee right now. Every once in a while, there might be a little hiccup, but
that's life.
Exactly. And people have been really gracious in giving us grace during this time because they know that we're in training ourselves. This happened overnight. And like I said, we did have a methodical thing that we were following, and that just got thrown out the window. So
that's a perfect metaphor for life.
Exactly. And so we're just going with it. So we're being trained right along with the kids. And so it's been going really great.
And the kids volunteer there.
They volunteer. And so if they need to have community service for credits, for school credits, they can come and sign up.
What a great idea.
We also just launched our youth board. And so we had our first introductory meeting last week. Applications are due September 14th.
Okay.
And then September 21st, everyone who wants to run for the different positions.
Okay.
They come and they make presentations, and then they'll be voted in. So we're trying to run it just as they would in the adult world.
Okay.
Because we want them to be ready for whatever they go into, as a job application. So whatever we do in the adult world, like we learn that we follow the Robert's Rule of Orders, they are going to do that too. They're going to learn that too. So that when they put on their resumes that they've been a part of the board, they can legitimately say they've been a part of a board.
Right.
And they can go on to contribute. And so they're going to come up with events. They're going to come up with a programming.
Yeah.
We're here in the fall. Our staff, we want to start doing the programming, but it's like, no, this is the kids' thing, and they're going to come up with the programming.
That's great.
And they're going to choose it. So
this is a big deal that you've put together. This has gone way beyond let's just show up with some coffee and donuts on the trail. I mean, you have really put together something amazing for these kids. So if there was a youth out there that wanted to be involved in the program, or maybe an adult who either wanted to donate time, money, resources, how do they get a hold of you? How do people find you?
Well, they can go on our website, trailyouth.com, and
Okay.
then there's a volunteer sheet that they can fill out.
Got it. Okay.
And then once we receive that, I will pass it off to either Tanya or Wendy, depending upon what they marked. And then one of them will contact them and we'll interview. But if you want to be involved in the coffee part, you have to have a food handler's permit.
Got it.
And then everyone who volunteers has to have a background check.
Okay.
So
perfect.
We provide the links for that too.
Awesome. And do you have any events coming up or anything that we should know about for Trail Youth?
We do have an event September 22nd. It's called the Community Closet. And we collect clothes for resources who are helping, families in need, and also for families. So what we do in the morning, we collect, and in the afternoon, we open it up for people to come and shop.
Got it.
So that will be hosted at the Snoqualmie Fire Station on September 22nd.
And are there any particular types of clothes that you are most in need of or are most helpful?
Just gently used clothes for all ages, even little children.
Because it's the whole family.
It's the whole family.
Not just the youth.
Right.
Got it.
And we took this on because we wanted the youth to be able to pour back into the community. And so eventually the youth will be the ones running it. So we've had several youth come and set up and help collect and really had a hands-on participation. But it's a part where we're showing the kids how to give back to the community as well.
Yes, I love that. Yeah. And I love that you're giving them opportunities to learn how to run it and set it up and do all of those things.
Yeah.
That's great. And those are such valuable skills.
Yes.
And I think sometimes it's good as an adult to see kids that they're actually more capable than sometimes we give them credit for.
Exactly. I mean, they really are. Some of these kids, one boy walked in the other day and he mentioned something and I'm like, oh, are you in IT? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, come over here.
Oh my
goodness.
Need
help.
Yes.
Please help us update our website.
Yes, and they can do it in minutes.
We've had kids doing admin work and, entering things in the database and doing research for me and coming up with a playlist for the Trail Youth Coffee Home. So
that's great. I love it.
So they're all having the hands-on experience of what it's like to get something brand new running,
I love it. That's so great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. This is such a good cause. I'm so glad that you're doing this. I'm going to North Bend for coffee.
Awesome.
This is great. And you have donuts there too, right?
We
Steve's Donuts.
Steve's Donuts.
Coffee and a donut.
Oh my goodness. Steve has been amazing. He's donated his donuts to us for all these years when we were bringing the coffee and donuts out to the trail, and the kids love it. They will bypass everything else that we could bring down nutritious things and lunches for them. Yeah, no, they go right for the donut.
I kind of would too.
Yeah. But he makes these amazing donuts. Really thick Bavarian creams. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. See, I'm telling you,
I know.
it's easy to get sidetracked by donuts.
It is.
And you and your husband, Josh, you have 4 kids of your own as well, right?
I do.
That's amazing. Do they come and participate at Trail Youth?
They did when we were in Issaquah. The timing of it,
now they're involved in a lot
of
things, I'm sure.
Because it was really nice. Snoqualmie School District, they let out, they had early release on Fridays. And so we would come down to the trail on Fridays after they got out of school. And we made it to the trail just as Issaquah was getting out of school.
Yeah.
So for a few years, my kids were able to come down to the trail and serve the coffee and donuts in that way.
Nice.
And now they're, in college or moved out. But we do have my 2 youngest, they still come to the coffee house. Sometimes I'll put a call out, hey, I'm the only one here and I'm in a meeting. Can you come clean?
Yeah.
Help me close up. And they'll come and they're my backup. Yes.
That's great.
Yeah. And they're let's see, 14-year-old. She's being trained as barista, and I think she'll probably be submitting her application into
that's great.
The youth board. So
I love it. Cool. And thank you for being on the show. This is one of my favorite things, and my whole reason for doing the 425 show is there's bedrooms and baths when you're selling houses, and that's important in square footage, but really it's about the community that you live in. And my whole purpose for doing this is to just help introduce people to different organizations and people and things. And I just think Trail Youth is so magnificent.
Oh,
I love that you're out there doing that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. We'll make sure we have links for your website is trailyouth.com.
Yes.
And we'll make sure we have links on our website to everything. If anybody wants to go there as well, it is NicoleMangina.com/podcast. But before we wrap up today, I'm sure you don't get many of these, but where are your favorite 425 spots if you and your husband end up doing date night or something fun? You get a free night or free 5 minutes. I know, isn't it fun?
Oh, I know.
Parents of 2 laugh. Parents of 4, I don't even know.
Let's see. It would either be, okay, I'm going to be a little traitor right now, but it would be either Starbucks or North Bend Bar and Grill.
Oh, I love that place.
Yes.
They have really good food.
Yes, they do.
Whenever we do the rattlesnake hike, we usually stop there after.
Or Iron Deck.
Oh,
yes.
That one's good too. Is that the one in Issaquah?
Nope.
Oh, no,
North
but
Bend
same
too.
owner, but they opened in North Bend.
Yes.
I have not been to that one.
And actually, the Iron Deck, they actually threw us the after show party. So after the reveal.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, somebody said go to the Iron Deck, and they're throwing a big party.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, so I walked in, and I was like, wow, and they had really good food.
Oh.
So, so that was really sweet of them and nice of them to do that for us.
That's great. I've been, they have the 2 in Issaquah, the cask something and white. Anyway, they've got 2 in Issaquah that I've been to that are awesome. I haven't been to the Iron Deck.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for making time. I know it's back to school time, which it's busy, right? A lot of logistics and getting everything back together and all that kind of stuff. But it's been great. As always, thank you for joining us here on the 425 show. We'll have another great guest with some other great things next week. And in the meantime, if you have questions about real estate, don't hesitate to reach out. You can always find me at NicoleMangina.com. Thanks so much. Make it a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
The views